Folks, imagine your mother, your grandmother goes to work in a department store where she works as a custodian and never comes home. Bessie Durham, 63 years old, is working in the Belk department store in Columbia, South Carolina. Folks, she apparently died in one of the only family restroom at the department store. Her body was not discovered for 4 days. Her family wants answers. Joining me now is Chris Hart, the attorney representing the Durham family. Chris, glad to have you here. Just 3 words. What the hell?
I have no idea, Roland. I can't explain it. We've been working on this case for over a year now, and we still cannot wrap our minds around how in the world did this happen? How did this beautiful lady go to work, clean bathrooms for Belk, and never leave out? And Belk says nothing about it. They do nothing about it. They allow her body to lay on the floor in the bathroom for 4 days, decomposed and so badly decomposed that the family could not even give a proper funeral and a proper burial for their mother. And Belk said absolutely nothing in response to this.
I mean, the first thing is, first of all, how many custodians are at Belk?
Upon talking to the family has told us in the entire store, there's only two custodians to clean the whole entire store. And that department store is humongous.
So you have 2 custodians who clean the whole store, and one doesn't show up. Is there no supervisor who's going, why is Bessie not at work? Where's Bessie? Call Bessie's home. What's going on here? And then by day 2, nobody's heard from Bessie. Where is Bessie? Then, if you're the other custodian and you're there to clean bathrooms, how'd you miss the family restroom for 4 days?
You asked the very same questions we've been asking for the past year, which we have not gotten answers to. So the way it works is Bessie, she used to work for Belk for 8 years. Then Belk's contracted out to a company called KBS. So to get access to the building, you have to log in on your phone through an app. So she logged in that morning, and she went into the restroom shortly after she logged in. And once she logged in, she never came out. So for that whole entire day, the restroom was not being cleaned. There were people working, Belk's working, even her co-employees were working. No one said anything. She didn't log out. Her employer never notified the family that she didn't log out. It was only after a day or 2 that the family contacted the employer, which is the contract employer, to say, hey, where's Bessie? They gave no answers. That was just on day 2. They still could not give any answers. So they didn't give any answers. So a couple of days later, the family were grappling with this about what to do and just struggling with trying to face reality. So they filed a missing persons report. And when they filed that missing persons report, that's when law enforcement contacted Belk and said, hey, go review your cameras. Figure out, when did Bessie Durham, when did she come into the store and monitor her actions? Where did she go? And the camera showed that she went into the bathroom shortly after 7 a.m. and she never came out of there. But Roland, here's what's most disturbing. Her cleaning cart sat in the hallway for 4 days. 4 days her cleaning cart sat in the hallway for 4 days, and Belk's did nothing. I don't understand. I still cannot fathom or wrap my brain around how this lady's cleaning cart sat in the hallway for 4 days, and they did nothing. They did do one thing. They continued the cash register ringing, though.
So her cart sitting there, nobody notices this cart just sitting in the middle of the hallway. 2, the company that contracted with, how in the hell they didn't call Belk to review the video?
I hate to sound like you have asked all the questions we have asked, and that's why this family is in so much trauma. That's why they're suffering so much emotionally and psychologically, because they don't understand, how did this happen? Especially Bessie Durham, she was beloved by everybody. She was beloved by her coworkers, she was beloved by her family, by her friends. Everybody knew her. But to go back to what you mentioned earlier, here's what we believed and we learned that Belch did. Belch called the contractor to ask, why isn't the bathrooms being cleaned? But nobody asked, well, where is Belch? Where is she? How is she doing? Why hasn't her cart moved for 4 days? It's just unimaginable. It's unconscionable how something like this happened.
Oh, so they called and said, why aren't the bathrooms being cleaned? And nobody thought to say, where's the woman who's supposed to be cleaning the bathrooms?
Nobody said anything except for why the bathrooms aren't being cleaned. So as a result, they have a duty. If someone dies on your property, in your house, in your business, you have a duty to immediately call 911 and law enforcement. And you have a duty to properly store their body up until law enforcement gets there. Because if you don't, what happens to Bessie Durham? Here's the most horrific part that happened, Roland. As the family went to Belk's and they were bringing their mother's body out of Belk's, they could smell her decomposing body. The coroner said to the family, you do not want to see your mother in this state. You do not want to see her in the advanced decomposition that she's in. She is so badly decomposed, you do not want to view her body. And they were not allowed to view her body. Here's what's even further damaging and so horrific to this family, Roland. While they're at the funeral, they're sitting on the front row, and they could smell their mother's decomposing body inside of the casket. Therefore, they were not allowed to have an open casket, a proper funeral, and a proper burial. It's two things you always remember about your loved one. You remember the day they're born, and you remember the day they die. And the day that Bessie Durham died, this is the memory that's etched in their minds forever.
What's next for y'all? What's the next action?
We have filed a lawsuit on behalf of the family to hold them accountable. And that's the next step, to make sure that Belch is held accountable. And also, we will be suing the employer for the damage that they've done.
Wow. That is just absolutely stunning to me. And it is beyond sad as well. Chris Hart, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.